Hello, welcome back to my channel. Grab yourself a drink, pull up a chair and make yourself at home because I am doing the drunk book tag. I'm just going to state now, I'm not actually drunk, but I've been put on liquid morphine for a bad pain in my side and the effects are pretty similar. So while I wanted to get a video out for you guys today, I didn't want to do anything too serious because that's not where my head is right now. And so I thought I would do the drunk book tag. This was created by Chelsea from Chelsea Darling Reads and Julie from Pages and Pens. I will leave their channels down below so you can check them out. And I'm just gonna get on with the questions because there's a few. So first question, we have wine coolers. First off, I have no idea what wine coolers are. We don't have them in this country. We have Alco Pops, which I'm assuming are similar. They're like really like fruity, like barely any booze in them, sort of like teenage drink kind of things. And I'm assuming they're similar. So you're 16 and you finally managed to sneak one of your mum's Smirnoff Ices. I can't imagine a mum actually in their right mind like stocking Smirnoff Ice. Again, kind of such a teenage drink. What is your most guilty pleasure read? And for me, this has to probably be I Heart New York by Lindsay Kelk. This book series follows a woman called Angela, and she at her best friend's wedding finds her boyfriend cheating on her. So she basically breaks the groom's hand, runs off to New York and starts a new life. I love this series, don't get me wrong. Like, it's so hilarious and just outrageous. The things that Angela does are just crazy. But I do find the stories are very formulaic and Angela gets herself into a lot of situations that wouldn't have been there if she just communicated her feelings through to other people, and she is a little bit of a Mary Sue, but despite that, like I said, they're just so fun and hilarious and they just take your mind off of the world, so I do really love them. Next you have Bia. You've made it to a college and are hosting your first kegger. Pick your favourite new adult / college aged book. I haven't really read too much new adult, to be completely honest with you. It's not overly my genre. So I guess I'll go for Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. This follows two twin sisters, Kath and something or other. I can't remember a sister's name for the life of me. I read this book yonks ago. And obviously they go off to uni for the first time, and it's only now they're starting to realise they are very different people. Our main character Kath is very quiet and she runs her own fan fiction for this popular kind of like Harry Potter ripoff basically. And yeah, it was quite a good read. Like I said, it was years ago that I read it, but I really enjoyed it at the time. I remember Levi, he was like the male romantic lead. I loved him. Can't remember why, I just remember I did. Tequila. You partied too hard last night and drank a little too much Jose Cuervo. What's the book you never want to see again, or your least favourite book? And it has to be 50 Shades of Grey. Hands down, the worst book I've ever read. Don't get me wrong, whatever a man and a woman decides to do in their bedroom is fine by me as long as it's consensual. But outside of the bedroom, he's such a controlling, manipulative, abusive jerk, and I hate him so much. And like the fact that so many women in the world use him as like a romantic role model when he's just a skeezy douchebag. I hate him so much. And like Anastasia, again, such a wet blanket, and she kind of turns into oh, what's his face? I've forgotten his name. George Takei, when she's like in bed with him. She's like, oh my, at everything he does. And like, I can't get the image of her being George Takei out of my mind when that happened. I can't remember if I'm saying his name wrong. I apologise if I'm butchering it completely. But yeah, I just can't get his face out of my bed. Wow. I just can't get his face out of my mind when I was reading those scenes at all. And it was just actually possibly made the story a little bit more interesting. So I suppose I had that to thank for it. And just all that inner goddess crap, just ugh, enough, just killed me now. I never watched the films. I never wanted to. Just the books were bad enough. Next, Beer Bong. What's a book you read super fast? And I read most books to be quite fast, to be honest. I'm a pretty fast reader. Obviously, being a parent, I don't get as much time to read anymore, so my reading has been a bit slower. But last one was Aurora Burning by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I read this one for a weekend readathon a couple of months back, and I read it completely in the whole readathon. I only actually put it down at points because I wanted to pick up other books during I would have just flew through and finished the entire book in one sitting if I hadn't. I loved it so much. I love the sequel even more. I've only just finished that. Look out for my thoughts in my wrap up if I do one, because I'm having the slowest reading month ever. But for some reason Aurora Burning took me a bit longer to get through. I think I've just been in a bit slumpy this month. So yeah, this one I absolutely flew through and loved so much. Loved the sequel. Cannot wait for the final book in the series because, oh my god, that cliffhanger in Aurora Burning has killed me. Next is Spring Break. You've thrown your inhibitions to the wind and end up having a sexy night you'll never forget. What is your favourite smutty read? And of course, we have to give it to the Queen of Smut, Feyre. Honestly, the Court of Thorns and Roses series is possibly one of the best written smutty things I've ever read, and I love it so much. Just Feyre and Rhysand together are just amazing, and their chemistry is just fiery, and I love them so much. This is actually the only book of the series I could find. Honestly, it works out quite well because I feel like most of the things that happen in this book involved sex. It was like a little porn novella. And I know lots of people hate this book because not much happens there. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. It was a nice little break from all of the drama and craziness that's happened in the rest of the series. And it was nice just to see like the whole like them all as a family, and it was really cute, and I just loved it so much. Next we have Screwdriver. What's the most twisted book you've ever read? And it has to be Sweet Pea by C.J. Skuse. This is a like murder mystery. Well, it's not even a murder mystery. It's like a murder thriller kind of book. And it is written from the point of view of the serial killer. The sequel is called In Bloom. It's a duology, I think. I don't know if there's a third book coming out at some point. And it's definitely twisted and crazy. And I really loved reading it. Tristan actually got me this for Christmas a couple of years ago, and I flew through it. I think I might have finished it by like the 2nd of January, and I just loved it so much. I know I'm saying that all the time at the moment, but yeah, she makes up this like list of people she wants to kill in her mind. Some of it is some like fantastical, like, oh, I wish I could kill that bitch who cut in front of me in the line at the supermarket. Others are like, this dude raped someone, so I want to kill him. There are some trigger warnings, I think, in this for there's definitely like flashbacks of death. She's got PTSD. There's some sexual assault, and just it's a pretty crazy book. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like she kind of like maintains this whole like socially presentable person, like she puts on a friendly face, and in her mind she just wants to kill everybody. It's great. Next would be Long Island Iced Tea, the melting pot of alcoholic beverages. What is one of your favourite diverse reads? And for this I have chosen Queen of Air and Darkness, but really it could be any Shadowhunter book. This just happened to be the first one that I grabbed. Like these books are so full of so many different representations. You've got Latina people, you've got black people, gay people, I think there's some asexual characters, you've got thruples, you name it, it's in here. And I really love the series for that. Like she, like for a straight white woman, she managed to put herself in so many people's heads. Like from what I can see, because I am a bisexual white woman, so there's not too much I can relate to. But from what I can tell, like the representation is so good. I don't think I've heard anyone say that they like the representation is bad in any way. So yeah, I love her for that so much. And just her characters in general, they're all so lovable and wonderful and hilarious. If you couldn't tell, I love Cassandra Clare so much. Next we have Sex on the Beach, a drink that's great in theory but wasn't all it's cracked up to be. What's a book that just didn't live up to the hype? So many people are gonna hate me for this. Like, I've got quite a few books I found didn't live up to the hype. Wow. But the first thing that came to my mind is Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I found this book like just a hodgepodge of British stereotypes, which kind of bugs me completely as a British person because I never relate to the stereotypes. As you can tell, I probably sound more like Hagrid than Hugh Grant. I don't drink tea. I've never even been to London. So just that idea of how we are as a nationality just really, really bugs me. Plus the whole like a British accent thing when, you know, there's no such thing as a British accent. You like to eat toothpaste? Okay, good to know. So yeah, you got like English, Welsh, Scottish and Northern Irish, and there's so many different dialects and everything in those. We don't just have that one. So just things like that in books really bug me so much. And like I said, this book was riddled with them. Plus there's the whole like, I don't overly care what happens too much in American politics. Like, the fact that it was like a woman who was in position is great and all, but for starters, that doesn't necessarily mean she's going to be a good politician. Like, we've had Theresa May, we've had Margaret Thatcher. Believe you me when I say being a woman does not make you a good politician. And just, I don't know, I just didn't get it at all, really, to be honest. I didn't even overly like, I feel like the two guys were cute together, but they felt more like a friendship than like lovers. I didn't get that spark between them. And I read it about a year ago, and basically the only thing I can remember is there was like a turkey let loose in one of their houses, and that's pretty much it. Might be like a Thanksgiving thing or something. I can't even remember. Next we have wine. You've just gone through a rough breakup, so you park yourself in bed with your favourite bottle of wine, some ice cream and a bucket for your tears. Name a book that made you cry out all of your fears. All of your tears. There are so many books I could have chosen from this. I am such a book crier, which is kind of hilarious because like in real life I don't cry like ever. So yeah, I guess I just let out all of my feels through books. But the king of all books that made me cry, The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. If you know, then you know. I was going through this book, really enjoying myself. It was a really fun read. Then chapter 21 happened and I was devastated. I was full on sobbing my eyes out, like hysterical crying kind of. And like I actually had to put the book down after that chapter and just take a few hours to recover from it. And it was really awkward because I finished reading it just before I had to go pick Magnus up from nursery. So like I think like the staff could probably tell I'd been crying and it was just really awkward. I absolutely love this book so much, but honestly I'm not sure I'm ever going to be able to read it again, or if I will have to skip that chapter because there's no way I could ever go through that again. And finally we have Strip Club, your favourite naked hardback. And this actually arrived through my door. Sorry about Magnus in the background. This arrived through my door yesterday or the day before. It is The Court of Miracles by Kester Grant. First off, even non-naked, can we just, it's a freaking beautiful book anyway. But you take its clothes off and pa-chow! Just fucking look at that. It's actually beautiful. It says like take what you will on it, and like there's that diamond, and like even the spine is gorgeous, and I just love this book so much. I'm so glad I bought it, even if I don't like the story, because it's the prettiest thing I have ever laid eyes on. Like I've have quite a few pretty hardbacks. Like I don't have many hardbacks at all, but most of what I own are really pretty naked, but that just tastes the biscuit completely. And so that's all the questions. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.